Today we are talking about
how a pregnancy test works. Can I have a pregnancy test, please?
Sure, all the pregnancy tests are based on easy applications and fast results. The procedure is written in the patient information leaflet.
I am an immunology student and I would love to know how such a test works. Do you have a second to explain it to me?
Of course, we have a consultation room in the back. Let's sit down and I can explain it to you. The easiest test if you're pregnant will be a urine test like this. It's easy to use, fast and reliable. Other than that, there's also a blood test, but you'll have to discuss that with your gynecologist and it will take a while as the sample needs to be sent to a laboratory.
I guess I'll take the home kit for now. But would you mind explaining how this kit works? What is the testing for? How do I know I'm pregnant? How do I know if the test was faulty?
Good question. You basically must imagine the kit in your hand as a piece of filter paper encased in plastic. The moment you urinate on it, the liquid will be transported by capillary forces further through. Your urine will be tested for one specific peptide hormone, human chorionic gonadotropin, abbreviated HCG, that is only present when you're pregnant.
May I interrupt? What is that hormone good for during pregnancy? And does it accurately correspond to the time of pregnancy? Maybe I'm not pregnant long enough yet, so the hormone can't be detected?
Good point. The hormone is firstly responsible for keeping the lining of the uterus intact, so the zygote can attach to it. It inhibits the shedding of the endometrium, which is the inner epithelial layer of the uterus. The shedding happens monthly during menstruation. It can happen that you are not pregnant long enough yet to detect the levels of HCG in your urine with the home kit, even though the test is quite sensitive. So in case of a negative result, you should retake the test 48 to 72 hours later, as that's the approximate doubling time. Try to take them early in the morning so you didn't drink too much beforehand, as otherwise the levels of HCG can be diluted. In case you get a positive result, the likelihood for being pregnant is high, even though in rare cases, the HCG levels can be due to specific cancers, for instance in the uterus or testicles. So even men can have, in some cases, positive pregnancy tests.
Okay, that makes sense. And how does the actual test now work?
The test is called a lateral flow assay. When being transported through the filter paper, our stationary phase, the liquid, or mobile phase, passes through three distinct areas: the reaction zone, the test zone, and the control zone. In the reaction zone, there are soluble monoclonal antibodies contained in the matrix of the stationary phase. Monoclonal means that they are made by identical immune cells that are clones of one parent cell. They have therefore identical hypervariable loops and bind to the same epitope, which is in this case one of the 5 epitopes on HCG. The complex will be transported with the flow of the mobile phase further. If there is no HCG, the antibodies are still transported with the liquid to the next zone. Importantly, the antibodies carry an enzyme attached to their Fc region, which will later be important for a color reaction. Next, they arrive in the test zone. Here, there are antibodies against another epitope of HCG immobilized on the stationary phase, so that the HCG antibody complex will bind to it, forming a kind of sandwich. The HCG clamp between two antibodies. Additionally, there's a substrate for the previously mentioned enzyme attached to the stationary phase. So, if the sandwich is formed, the enzyme can catalyze the reaction of substrate to a colored product. The product is insoluble, thus stays in the test zone. This reaction is similar to what is done in Western blotting. This means, if there's in zone 1 a colored line, there's HCG in your urine.
But you also mentioned a control zone. What is happening there?
As the name says, it's the control. You always need to check in an experiment if something went wrong in the procedure, or if you actually have a positive or negative result. In the control zone, it will be checked if in principle the test worked, so if there generally were antibodies present that could have bound to HCG. All antibodies not attached to HCG will be transported through the test zone and do not adhere there. Even in case your urine contains HCG, not all antibodies will be bound to it. They are present in excess. In the control zone, there are now again immobilized antibodies, but this time against the Fc region of the primary antibody used. Again, there is the same substrate present in the matrix as before. If there was antibody in solution, it will be bound to the secondary antibodies and will conduct the same color reaction as previously. So, if the test worked, there will always be a line in the control zone. All in all, you basically hold in your hand a little sandwich ELISA with control. ELISA stands for Enzyme-Linked Immunosorbent Assay. The laboratory isn't doing anything too different from that.
Oh wow, I didn't know that there is so much behind that test. It seems so easy. Thank you. But what is different in the laboratory though?
First of all, the laboratory is analyzing the same compound, the HCG content, but they take it from your blood. There, the concentration is less dependent on other factors, like the amount you drank that day. They either do a sandwich ELISA to test for its presence, or radiolabeling with nanoparticles. In case of the ELISA, they can, besides the pure yes-no answer, quantify the amount present, as they access the color reaction spectrophotometrically. The amount of HCG can give an indication of the duration of your pregnancy. If they test with radiolabeled antibodies, the test is even more sensitive, but also more expensive, than the color reaction.
Thanks again. I'll take 2 of the home kits. And let's hope for the best.
You're welcome. Good luck.